on winter break. This is a day that it's kind of a difficult one because on one hand, I, as a teacher, and many other teachers, we want to celebrate with our students. We want to have a day where we can just kind of hang out and have fun and be able to relax a little bit before we all go on break and we don't see each other for 2 weeks. At the same time, it is an instructional day, and these are instructional minutes that you don't want to waste. And I say that with air quotes because there are a lot of layers to what I just said. Basically, I think that having a day where you can celebrate with your students and kind of relax a little bit and just have something that's different from the norm is such a great community builder, and there's something to be said for that. That is an invaluable thing when it comes to, it's an invaluable essence when it comes to our classrooms and our classroom management and the way that our classroom feels and the way that students feel in our classrooms. You want to have that sense of community, and having days where students can just kind of kick back and enjoy each other and enjoy you, their teacher, and you can enjoy them. It's nice, but at the same time, I'll speak for myself. I will not put words into your mouths. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I am using every instructional minute that I can to its fullest. So while I want to celebrate with my students, which I always want to do, I'm a sucker for a theme, you guys, you know that. I love glitter. And I also want to build that community and further just like foster the connection that I have with my students and that they have between each other. I want to make sure that they are getting some academic merit out of the day. So here's what I am planning to do. Often this day is spent watching a movie, having a class party, or a potluck or something like that, and that's pretty much all that really happens. And I know that there is a way to celebrate and bring standards-based curriculum and academic rigor into the classroom all at the same time, because education can be really, really fun. So here's what I'm going to do. The last day before break is going to be the end of a unit that we have been doing in class. And this is a larger unit. We've been studying the Holocaust Memoir Night. We've been studying a bit of the Holocaust itself and World War II. We've been looking at different refugee crises around the world throughout history. And we've been looking at just like, how does the human spirit endure? The way that I am then translating this into a smaller project for that last week before break is we're going to be looking at world poetry. We're going to be looking at how different poetry from different cultures around the world express those cultures, and also how all of these different cultures have the human things in common that we have. I know I just said a lot, but like just know that that's what we're going to be doing leading up to this. So then that week before break, students are going to be working on their own original poems. Those original poems, they're going to have some options. They're going to have options as to what format the poem is going to be, or like how they're going to model their poem, what famous poetry or world culture poetry they're going to model their poetry after. They are going to be writing these poems based on different themes that we have found in the texts in Night, in immigrant stories. We've been doing a refugee like research project. So different themes and ideas that they found there. So we'll do a whole big brainstorm leading up to this. And then they'll be writing their poems. And the day before break will be a poetry reading. So everybody will have their completed work, whatever format that takes, having to do with poetry. And each student will read their poem to the class. This will work on our listening and speaking standards. I think what I'm going to do is break students into smaller groups of around 10 or so, because my classes are pretty big. They're in the upper 30s and like one is 40. And they'll have as many members as there are in their group. They will have that many like post-its or little sticky notes. And so what they'll do is as they're listening to the poem, they will write down like positive affirmations, either about how they read the poem, how the poem is structured, some of the words in the poem, different imagery that was evoked in the poem or in the language or something like that. And then they'll pass their little sticky notes to the performer once they're done, and that gives both the audience something to do and the performer some positive feedback after they have performed their little poem. And then the thing that I will do, and that brings about like a huge level of celebration and just support that they're giving to each other. It's a good way to just kind of like seal out December and go into winter break. And it also addresses a lot of listening and speaking standards, not to mention the writing standards that we've addressed with original poems. So I'm hitting a lot of things with this, and it creates like a relaxing environment. I'm not going to make students stand up in front of the whole entire class and read their poem because that just scares kids, especially when it's something like poetry that can be extremely intimidating. So I'm going to do smaller groups. Yes, I will be the one choosing their groups, but they've already gotten to know each other to a certain extent, so it shouldn't be too intimidating. The other thing that I'll do is provide some hot chocolate and some warm apple cider. I have one of those big like coffee urns, and I just fill it with water, and then I have like a big old thing that you just scoop the hot cocoa, and I get like the little hot cider packets from Walmart for pretty inexpensive. I get cups that can take hot liquid, and then the kids can kind of have that, and it makes it like a fun day. The other thing that I like to do is put on some classical music, whether that, or just instrumental music, whether it's like Christmas music or just, you know, you can get those like winter soundtracks on YouTube, and it'll just play some nice kind of calming music. I'll have that down low. And then I love, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen, I love to put like the YouTube channels that have the blazing fire just like up on the screen, and it kind of creates an ambiance, and kids like pretend to go and warm their hands on the fire. Yeah, but we'll have all that going while we have our poetry readings. And if there's extra time, I might even like mix up the groups and have students read their poem to a new group. Yeah, but this way we can celebrate their work, and they can come together in a way that is a little bit non-threatening, kind of fun, something a little bit different from what we normally do in my class. Now I need you guys to do something. Will you please comment down below with what you plan to do with your classes on the last day before break? If you're going to be doing some sort of a film study, and so therefore you're going to watch a film. I've done this before. I like find a short film and we watch the film, and then we have a discussion about it afterwards. It's just something like different to kind of like break up the monotony. Or maybe you have to give an exam and then you're gonna give them a candy cane. Tell me what you're going to do before break so that we can share some ideas and work smarter, not harder. Thank you for joining me for this video in my 12 days of Vlogmas. If you have not already subscribed, please click that subscribe button real quick, and I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.